everyone, I am Gina Buckney. Welcome to my channel, and boy have I got a treat for you today. Today we're bringing you a program called A Champion's Mindset, and I've got a legend who I'm going to interview to bring you his pearls of wisdom. So I bring to you Frank Dick. We're going to come to topic 2 now, which is overcoming challenges and failure. So let's just talk about how you overcome failure. If they've gone for something that is so important to them, and you mentioned it on the winning bit, if it doesn't hurt, if you lose, it doesn't, if it doesn't matter to you, then is it worth winning? You've got to have that real desire and feeling for it. If they've got that, and this is the biggest thing they're doing, and then they lose, say that, I don't know, they lose a race, whatever sport it's in, what advice do you give them?
Well, first of all, to bridge the first part of the conversation with where we are now, you should always hold in mind that a winning culture is founded on a learning culture. So if you don't have this platform of wanting to learn and being curious for life, if you like, then don't expect to keep on winning. You've got to get that in place first. And so you mentioned training. That's the whole thing, but not just for the athletes, if you like, or your staff out there, but also for yourself. You've got to understand that learning is a never-ending story for you. You have to be persistently on top of that. So coming to the notion of challenges, I think I like to talk about, a lot of people talk about the risk of losing, but I can't see where there's a risk in that. I mean, you don't have to practice for it or work very hard for it. You can lose easily in life. So you've got to take the risk of winning, to step beyond the edge, to go beyond where you've been before. And that edge of going to something new means you're going to make mistakes, you're going to have problems out there. Why? Well, by definition, for goodness sake, you've never been there before, so you're going to make mistakes. What you've got to learn to do is make mistakes fast. Make your mistakes fast, and you'll only do that beyond and have a go. You've got to have a go. So there's a kind of a model I like to think about that. The moment you do that, of course, you're taking a risk, right?
It is, and it's scary when you do something new.
Absolutely.
I can tell you that. It's really scary when you change a career or whatever. So I love that. Make the mistakes fast, because it's like, just get through it. It's like, run through that wall as quick as you can go.
So the moment you take a risk, just as you said, it's scary. You have fear. You go from, once you have risk, you have fear. Now, fear's okay, because if you don't have it, you will never learn courage.
Okay.
The absence of fear, it's what you'll do with it to motivate you, to help you to take that risk. And so the cycle's complete. Risk, fear, courage, risk, fear. It goes in that cycle.
So
now,
risk, fear, and courage. So like a triangle there.
But also with fear, I think you have to face your fears. I mean, that's what I'm trying to get at here. You have to face them and get on with it. There are 4 fatal fears that if you let these happen in your life and don't deal with them and succumb to them, then they're fatal. That finishes your whole journey, believe me.
And first, before you go on the 4, sorry, just your comment then, you have to face your fears. What is the impact if people don't face the fears then, Frank?
Well, your fears conquer you then.
And they don't win and they don't move forward. Is that what you would say? That if you don't go and do it, then you're going to remain as you are, I guess.
Yeah, and if you go back to some of the opening comments, remember that your first focus is on performance, your performance. Now, if you let fear interfere with that, then you're going to be in trouble, because, as I say, performance is the only thing you're in control over, right? So if you let fear interfere with that, you're in trouble. But fear, as I said, if you face up to it, it gives you the courage and your performance will follow. So there's a connection between all of these.
And I think the feeling that you get when you've overcome that fear, that is such a sense of achievement. I guess that's you winning, isn't it? You've won for yourself. You've done something that you've never done before.
You can't do anything. The opposition, remember, are after the same result as you. They're after that. So you can't do anything about them. You can only do something about you and your performance. Keep driving through it. So let me get back to my four fatal. First fear is the fear of making a mistake. As I said, make them fast. Own your mistake or own up to your mistake. Learn from the mistake. Don't repeat the mistake. Very simple little lessons that go around that.
Oh,
So
very simple, Frank. Don't repeat the mistake. I guess that's one that a lot of us will go, if it was only that simple in life not to repeat some mistakes. So I guess that's the bit we have to really remember and go for.
But stand up to it first. Never try to hide a mistake, right? If you hide a mistake, you don't learn from it. And if you're in a team, if you're a leader in a team, or if you're part of a team, in admitting the mistake, in getting it out there in front of everybody, it's not only you who can learn from it. Everybody learns from it.
Yes,
it's a lesson for everybody. So that's why it's important to identify the mistakes and say own up to them. Make sure you learn from them. And okay, if the chances are, if you're doing that, you won't repeat them. But own up.
And I think when you own up to them, you're on the spike then. I think when it comes to business, definitely, and we've done this in where I've worked before, you know, you look at what went wrong, and then you can identify how you make sure it doesn't go wrong again, and you're all trained on it. I was more referring to personal life there, and like, won't repeat the same mistakes, but we will not go there. Anyway, back to you, Frank.
Okay, so the second fatal fear is the fear of losing, right? The fear of losing. Well, if you're focusing on your performance first, the only win or lose is in that. And who's responsible for your performance?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So that's it. You don't. It's a big mistake in life, I believe, and we're unfortunately encouraged to do that from school years. We're encouraged to compete with each other. You go. I remember a crazy story about my younger daughter, who was very competitive. As a tennis player, she played for England when she was tiny. And Cara came home from school one day, and because being first in the school, you know, she said, I was first in the class in maths today. So that's fantastic. She said, apart from one person.
How do you miss? I like a mindset though.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's your performance that counts. Was it the performance you could give when you walk away from something? But always remember, when you walk away from anything in life, I promise you, there's always something you could do better, something you could do differently. There's always these two things.
Yeah.
And these are the things that allow you to consistently develop your performance and make it move.
So would you say then, for people, focus on you, that's what it is, your own improvement, rather than other people go around? Because for me personally, I've been trying to do that, just focus on me, and it has helped. You know, it helps you not compare. But if I'm ever in a competition, or you know, on a program with others where you've got to be the best, that drives me so much, because I'm competitive. I'm like, right, I need to make sure I'm better. So when we're taught that in school, I think it's a good thing, is it? What's your opinion on that?
No, I think if competition is there to help you improve your performance, that's how you should look at it, right? Can that raise my performance when I go out there? You know, there have been situations in life, and in sport, for example, I remember a long time ago, John Walker was a really great mile or 1500 meters athlete. And at the Commonwealth Games in Christchurch, all the coaches who understand that side of things were sure that this boy was on for a world record, right? And so it came to the last evening of the Commonwealth Games, a beautiful rose-coloured sunset in Christchurch, New Zealand. The gun went, and at the end of the race, he did break the world record, but unfortunately, Philbert Bayi broke it by more.
Oh, so you had two world record breakers in the one race, but one was superseded by the other.
So what do you do after that, Gina? Go home and say, what a bummer of a day. You know, I finished second, but you ran faster than you and most other people in life have run in history. I mean, it was your personal best. What's wrong with that? Coming back to my daughter Cara and my other daughter Erin, when they were growing up, they had their stumbles and their bumps and bruises in life. And I remember saying to both of them separately, what you've got to remember is this: you're the best in the world at being who you are. Don't ever try to be someone else. Mm. Just be better at being you, and you'll always touch your mountaintops. And I think that's my second fatal fear. Deal with that. Your third one is the fear of rejection. Trying something and not being selected, not getting your position and so on. Well, you've really just got to learn in life to step up and take the risk. Go for it. I know so many people in life who they either ask me for a coffee or whatever, and they're talking about going for a new position or trying this or trying that. And I always say the same: go for it. But Frank, I'm not sure if I'm ready. Listen, always go before you're ready. If you really believe in you, you'll grow into whatever it is that they want you to be. You'll grow in, but you've got to stand up for yourself, step forward, back to taking the risk of winning.
Yeah, I fully believe in that. And I think it's about, like you say, if you wait till you think you're ready, you're never going to be ready, because there's always more to learn. This is what I think. And, you know, in my past, in my career, I've just had to throw myself in and learn as I go. And it's that swan, like, you know, you look all good, like poised on the outside, but underneath you're like this. But that's when you get the biggest reward and the most learning, I found, when I've thrown myself into a position that I'm not quite there yet. And there's, you know, I've got so much growth. That's where I've had the biggest, like, when I look back on my life, sense of achievement.
That's it. You've got to reach for it. But remember this the other way around. Think of this the other way around. If you're the leader, if you're the boss out there, and you've got staff out there, always think of situations with your people. As Pele, the legendary footballer, said, this is the way he approached life. He said, never pass the ball to where someone is. Pass the ball to where you think they can get to.
Oh, I
think it's a great picture of that for yourself, for your staff. So we've had mistakes, we've had losing, we've had rejection. The final one is the fear of criticism. Right?
Oh, I think we've all got that. Yeah.
Now, but what you have to get into your head from very early on is that it's not criticism, it's feedback. Mm-hmm. We have to be willing to listen to what other people are saying about us. And part of that is creating something that we're not all that good at in England, I have to say. We very seldom are truly honest with other people. Rather than hurt their feelings, we'll miss the point. We'll go around the corner. And I think what we have to learn in life, Gina, is to have what I call to create a culture of constructive candor, right?
Yeah.
If you don't, you know, that being candid, being straight with people. If you do not have candor, you don't have honesty. If you don't have honesty, you don't have trust. Or, if you like, if you don't have candor, you don't have accountability. If I think you're getting it wrong, I owe it to you to say it straight up. Because not only will you benefit, but our team will benefit. Yeah. And if you have accountability, you will not have respect.
I fully agree with that. And I think, you know, for the organisations that I've worked in, we call it something called honest conversations, because they're tough. It's hard to tell someone that you didn't do a good job. But I know if you want to get the best out of your team, you have to tell them that, because what will happen as well, and I've been there, is it eats away with you. This could be at home with your partners or whatever as well. If you've got something and you're not being honest with it, that they've done, and it will eat away and it'll build and build. And eventually it becomes a bigger problem than it ever was, because you've not had that conversation. So I fully agree with that. And I think the whole criticism thing, there's a lot at the minute where we could look at that as judgment as well, especially with the world of social media and stuff now. And it's like, right, we just have to, again, focus on yourself, not have that, or break through that fear. So thank you for that, Frank. Anything else to say on that section?
Just one final point, and it really came me getting something wrong, because you just mentioned the word judgment there. That was years ago, and I was working with a lady called Gina from the States, fantastic creative thinker. And I'd really lost it with this athlete jumping up and down in his head. And she said to me afterwards, Frankie, you know, your problem, you think that the opposite of right is wrong. It's not, it's left. And so what she was trying to get at is, when you're developing your people, when you're working with people in front of you, it's your job to constantly redirect, adjust, and keep moving in the journey. It's not your job to judge them.
Do you know what? That really resonates with me. I like that. And again, it's about taking more of an optimistic view rather than going right and wrong, like it's just a different direction, like you say. Okay, thank you, Frank. So we're going to move on now to section 3, which is one that I'm definitely interested in, and I need your help. Finding happiness and balance when work is your priority.